fans, comic geeks, and all the nerds in between. My name is Megan, and I am with Vigilante Vibes, and today I'm coming to you with another character breakdown, and of course it's another mutant because that's my thing. And today I want to talk about James Proudstar. Last week we talked about his brother, Thunderbird, and it's like, how can you not talk about Warpath when you're talking about Wonderbird? So, who is Warpath? Who is James Proudstar? James first appeared as the second Thunderbird in New Mutants number 16, published in June of 1984, and then first appeared as Warpath in X-Force number 1 in June of 1991. He was created by Chris Claremont and Sal Buscema. James Proudstar was born of the Apache Reservation in Camp Verde, Arizona. Growing up, he absolutely idolized his older brother John, especially after John returned home from serving in the Marines. James was thrilled to have him back until their mother revealed she had cancer. As part of trying to lift everyone's spirits, the family went to an amusement park where James had his fortune told by Destiny. You know, the Destiny, Mystique's wife. He brushed it off, convinced she was a total fake, which I feel like a lot of people do. Not long after, James secretly followed John when he broke into Arroyo Labs, a clinic supposedly treating people on the reservation for cancer. There, James was discovered by Dr. Edwin Martinek, who revealed himself to be a mutated werewolf. The brothers learned the horrifying truth. Martinek was lying about the cancer diagnosis so he could irradiate patients and study the effects. They tried to stop him, but Martinek managed to escape. Not long after, James secretly followed John when he broke into a clinic supposedly treating people on the reservation for cancer. There, James discovered Dr. Edwin Martinek, who revealed himself to be a mutated werewolf. The brothers learned the horrifying truth at that point. Martinek was lying about the cancer diagnosis so he could irradiate patients and study the effects. They tried to stop him, but Martinek managed to escape. Soon after, John was recruited by the X-Men and was killed on one of their earliest missions. James was devastated and furious. He blamed the X-Men for John's death and swore revenge on their founder, Professor Charles Xavier. Not long after, James' own mutant powers started to surface, closely resembling his brothers. He joined the Hellions at the Massachusetts Academy, led by the White Queen herself, Emma Frost, who personally trained him to use his powers. James first crossed paths with the New Mutants when Emma invited Doug Ramsey to the Academy and ended up capturing both him and Kitty Pryde. Unaware of Kitty's bond with Magic, who is Ileana Rasputin, Emma accidentally kicked off a rescue mission that ended with both teams captured. With tensions rising, the Hellions proposed a contest. If the New Mutants won, they could go free. Chaos broke out when Emma herself intervened, and the New Mutants managed to escape into the confusion. Later, James wore his brother's old costume and kidnapped Banshee to lure the X-Men to the Cheyenne Mountain, where John had died. Everything went according to plan until James found he could not bring himself to kill Professor X. Xavier convinced him that John had died a hero, and James let everyone go, acknowledging Xavier as an honorable man, which, I don't agree with, but Xavier offered him a place with the New Mutants, but John turned it down and instead returned to the Hellions, eventually becoming their leader. During a Hellfire Club event attended by both teams, John bonded with Danny Moonstar, and the two genuinely liked each other. Things soured after Cypher was found drunk in bed with Roulette, leading to another rivalry-fueled contest between the teams. The goal was to track down whoever sold a fake Selene statue, with the losers forced to publicly apologize. While the New Mutants tried to get ahead by spying, James predicted their move and led them to decoys. The Hellions captured the real culprits, Viper and Silver Samurai, and won. Back at the club, James and Danny nearly kissed before being interrupted rudely. Later, James admitted he had feelings for Danny after being influenced by Empath during another contest involving the mutant bird brain. Eventually, James felt like he didn't belong with the Hellions anymore, and he just left, returning home to Camp Verde. Cable offered him a spot with the New Mutants, but James declined, until he returned home and found his entire tribe slaughtered, with a Hellfire Club mask left behind. Driven by rage and grief, James joined Cable's team. Under Cable's leadership, the New Mutants became X-Force, and James took the codename Warpath. He fought numerous enemies alongside the team and eventually confronted Emma Frost, only to learn she wasn't responsible for his tribe's massacre. Around his time, his powers surged dramatically, granting him incredible speed, strength, and heightened senses. After sensing danger tied to the National Council of Indian Affairs, James rushed to New York, where he had a strange encounter with Risque, who kissed him and vanished, just like that. Later, he tracked Celine to Gideon's apartment, but was defeated by her magic. Risque rescued him, took him to Florida to recover, and the two fell in love. When James returned to the X Mansion with her, they walked straight into a fight with Mr. Sinister and were knocked out during the chaos. When James woke up, Risque was gone. Risque later reappeared and took him out, only for her to drug him and hand him over to the sledge. Though betrayed, James learned that one tribesman, Michael Whitecloud, had survived the massacre. To repay Sledge, James entered a dangerous dimension to rescue the Vanisher, barely escaping himself. This experience forced him to rethink his obsession with revenge. James later met Whitecloud, who revealed that the Oreo Institute files explained the massacre, but before he could name those responsible, Whitecloud was taken out. James recovered the file, only to be captured by Martinek, who revealed the massacre was actually a cover-up tied to Strife's experiments. Martinek injected James with a drug and killed him. In a hell dimension, Strife tried to break James' spirit, but Siren's CPR and the intervention of Valkyrie and X-Force actually saved him, bringing James back to life. Danny Moonstar later helped him process his grief. Under Pete Wisdom, James learned to push his powers even further, somehow even learning how to fly. He stayed with X-Force through multiple missions and fake deaths, including a major explosion that briefly left the team presumed dead. Later, James joined the Mumbai branch of the X Corporation, saving Professor X from assassination and becoming beloved by the public while wearing his brother's old costume. After the events of House of M, James retained his powers and relocated to the Xavier Institute, where he reconnected with old allies and received vibranium knives from Storm and Black Panther. James later joined a space mission to hunt down Vulcan, proving himself in combat and earning Xavier's trust. Back on Earth, he helped rescue Leech from the Morlock tunnels and defended fellow mutants from the Sentinels. He later became part of a new Black Ops X-Force led by Wolverine. During Messiah Complex, Caliban sacrificed himself to save James. James buried Caliban alongside his brother and later learned the truth about Eli Bard resurrecting his tribe as sacrifices to Selene. During Necrotia, James faced reanimated loved ones, including his brother, whom he had to mercy kill. He ultimately defeated Selene using her own dagger, freeing the trapped souls. Afterward, James left X-Force, lived on Utopia, and later joined Storm and Psylocke's security team. He was captured by Weapon X, rescued by mutants led by an older Logan, and later joined their rescue squad, developing a casual relationship with Domino. When Sabretooth took over leadership, James quit after clashing with him once again. When Krakoa was founded, James joined the Mutant Nation and later fought to defend it in Otherworld. He eventually became a teacher with the New Mutants, mentoring young mutants and helping combine their powers in creative ways. He participated in missions across the world and even got stuck in his Hellfire Gala outfit after sneezing. After Scarlet Witch restored Resurrection, John Proudstar was finally brought back to life. Overwhelmed with emotion, James feared he had failed his brother. But John did not blame him. The two embraced, cried, and finally went home together to spend time with their grandmother, Lozin. So, that is Warpath. That is James Proudstar. He is a sad character. He's a sad character. Which I realize I keep breaking down all these sad characters, and it's like, maybe I have a type. I don't know. But I like his character. I love him and John together. I love their dynamic. And I like Warpath. He's cool. He has cool powers, and I'd really, really like to see more of him in the recent comics. Because I just feel like we never get to see him anymore. So yeah, that's Warpath. That's James Proudstar. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you are actually still watching, thank you. I realize it is a lot to take in. So, with that being said, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else I put out, because I put out a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, and I think it's really good stuff, but that's just me. So, with that being said, have a marvelous day.